everybody, it's Mrs. Woolley in 5th, and today we are back in my classroom because a lot of you have been asking me about my classroom economy. So if you don't know what a classroom economy is, it's basically a reward system or an incentive system that you use to help with like behavior or promoting like good choices in academics and things like that. So I started this back in March of this year. It has not been an all year ordeal just because it was a lot to take on at first. But now that we've kind of gotten into the swing of things, I think I'm going to try to start off the year doing this next year and kind of give it a trial run and see how that goes with my class next year. But I mean, each class is different, so that could change. Yeah, that could change. But I thought I'd just kind of give you the rundown today of how I run it in my classroom, my class store. I know a lot of you guys are like interested in seeing what I keep in my class store and basically how I use my class economy in 5th grade. So let's go. Okay, so if you've been around for a while, you know that I don't do anything like halfway. I have to like go all in. So when I first decided that I wanted to do a class economy, I ran straight to my husband because he is a graphic designer. He does digital media. So I was like, hey, Jordan, I need you to make me some money. And he was like, huh? And I was like, no, not real money. Like I need some fake money that I can use in my classroom. Because you can buy fake money, like actual US dollars, but I thought, how fun would it be to have like money that was unique to our room? So it's actually become somewhat of a thing. So Jordan took inspiration from euros, and he created a 1, a 5, and a $10 bill. So I'll show you what those look like. Okay, so these are my classroom currency. There is the $1 bill that has Corner Gym on it. We've got the $5 bill that has a bear on it because it's my school's mascot. And then, of course, we've got the $10 bill that has Teddy on it. And now my kids are like, you should make a $20 bill because now you have Duncan. And to be honest, I agree with them. We need a $20 bill because I have another doggy now. So it can't just be Tater Tot. But it's so funny because they like try to collect them all. And it's like, at first, it was a huge deal when they would earn a $10 bill because they would get the tater tot. And then when they would earn smaller amounts, they would want to trade in their smaller bills for larger bills. So this is the money that they earn. It's all literally card stock. It's not real cash. There was some discrepancy online. People were thinking that like my kids were earning real money and I was charging them real money in my class store. Nope, it's paper. But we have the 1, the 5, and the 10. And of course, I couldn't just put them in like little baggies and be like, you know, a normal person. I had to actually go and buy like a little money drawer to keep in my room. I'm so extra. So I have my little money drawer, and that's where I keep all of the money when it's not being given out to the students. But every Friday is payday in our room. So in the mornings, my students usually either read silently or they do soft starts, which are basically like little games and toys and fidgets and stuff they can play with. But on Fridays, it's payday. So each of my students gets paid for the job that they're assigned, and I'll go into that. Each of my students gets paid for the job that they're assigned on Friday. And on Friday, they will receive a little paycheck from me. So our paycheck is literally, it says the Big Bear Bank, and it says like paid to the order of, date, and then what it's for, and then I have to sign it. I write how much money that they earned, and then I taught them that like when you actually get a paycheck in the real world and you have to like deposit it, you need to sign on the back of the check. So I have them sign their name on the back of their check, and when I call them up to come to the bank, if it's not signed, I won't cash it. So they have to go back to their seat and sign their paycheck. So after they sign their paycheck, then I pay them the amount of money that they're owed from my bank. And they also have opportunities to earn bonus money. So if I watch them all week long and I see that they're doing like above and beyond at the job that they were assigned, I might give them like a bonus of $1 or $2. Or if they got good grades on an assignment that we did and I took it for a grade. If they got an A on the assignment, they get $2 bonus. If they get a B on the assignment, they get $1 bonus. And that's all flexible. Like I can change it whenever I want. If I want to make A's and B's worth way more money, I can do that. But it just kind of incentivizes working hard and trying to earn the money that you are given. If I don't see them doing their job throughout the week, I don't not pay them, but I do like kind of stay on them and remind them like, hey, I haven't seen you sharpen some pencils in a little while. Maybe you should go check the drawer and see if we have pencils. So kind of just reminding them like, hey, it's your responsibility to do those things. And that's how you're going to get your money. So then on Friday, when they're getting paid or when they spend money at my store, they have to fill out their balance sheet. So let me show you that. Okay, so this is their balance sheet. So whatever day it is, they have to put the date. They put a description of the transaction. So that means like they have to put whether or not it was, they got bonus money for a grade or they lost money and were fined because they were talking in the hall or whatever. They put if it was a payment, meaning they were giving me money, they put the payment here. If they're depositing money into their account, they write it in this column. And then they have to update the total money that they have in their bank. And honestly, I just like print that back to back. And then when they run out, I have extra so they can get a new balance sheet. Okay, so let's talk more about payday. So every Friday when they get paid their paycheck, they also owe me their rent for the week. Because we talk about how when you grow up, you don't just get to live where you want to live for free like you do right now while you're a kid. When you're an adult and you live on your own, you have to pay for the place that you live in, whether you pay to own a house someday or you pay to rent a house or an apartment or whatever. So right now we talk about renting their spot in the room because my students use flexible seating. So they get to choose the spot that they want to sit in each week. I don't do assigned seats, so they get to choose. Now their rent is $6 and minimum wage in my classroom is $10. So that leaves each kid who gets paid $10 at the starting point of the first week we do this with $4 left over to spend after they've paid their rent. Now that doesn't seem like a lot at the start of things, but we'll get there. So they pay their rent. And then I also have the futon. Now the futon is a hot commodity. A lot of people like to sit there. So instead of them fighting over it, what I have decided to do is I do a random number generator on Google. And then whatever numbers come up first, I choose 3 people and I ask them if they would like to purchase a spot on the couch for the week as an extra rent. And that costs them $3. So they might not be able to afford to buy the extra seat on the couch. And for some kids, a lot of the times they don't see it as a good use of their money. So they decide not to buy it. But for some kids, they just want to be comfy on the couch all day and that's worth it to them. So they're going to pay the extra $3 and that's totally fine. So each Friday we switch that out and then I will collect the couch rent from those people who decide to spend their money that way. And then after we have the couch rent, then the class store opens. So let's go and check out the class store. Okay, I think I'm gonna jazz this up next year and put an actual sign on the store, but the store is literally just a cabinet in my classroom that I cleaned out and then converted into the store. So I made these labels and I laminated them so that I could change out the prices. So the first week, the prices were pretty low. And then as the weeks went on, we talked about inflation and we talked about how prices go up and, supply and demand and things like that. And so because I knew that different items cost me more money to purchase them because my school does not provide these items, I buy them myself. So I would pay for the items, put them in my class store, and then I decide what the prices are because obviously can't afford to restock the store every single week. So the prices are going to seem kind of high, but remember, this is paper money. It's all fake. And it also is teaching the kids that they need to save up for items that they truly want and that these shouldn't just, you know, go and spend all of their money at the store all at once. So first, we'll start up on this shelf. So I always make sure there's some lower priced items on top of, you know, some of the more expensive ones. So over here we have a random sticker bin, and there's all kinds of different stickers. Whoop, stickers down. There's all kinds of different stickers. Like so these are like some cacti, and then we've got a little rainbow scrunchie, and then we've got, what's this? A little Polaroid camera. But there's all kinds of different stickers in there. The kids love going through the stickers and finding ones to put on their water bottles. So we've got that. Over here, I just have like some random books I got from the dollar store. So they're like $3 over there for books. No one really ever gets them. This is the miscellaneous bin. So it's just like random smaller items or things that I really didn't think would be of high value. So those are like $3. Some stuff falling out of the bins. And then we've got the more pricey fidget toys. So these ones are going to be $10. These actually came from Mrs. Bench from Fidget Toys Plus. She donated a lot of these fidget toys to my classroom, so they can buy all kinds of different fidget toys. Actually, this pop tube's supposed to be over here. We got some poppets. A lot of the poppets are gone now. We've got some monkey noodles, some mochis, all kinds of different stuff, and those are $10. On this side, we've got some erasers. They can get 4 erasers for $3. They can get a mechanical pencil for $6. We've got these little notebooks for $3. We've got some regular, just like fun print pencils. Those are $3. And then the more pricey items, oh my gosh, I just saw this sticker and it's so cute. Hold on, let me show you. Oh my gosh, I kind of love that. Okay, put that back. But down here, these are where the pricier items are. So we've got some Gatorade. Obviously, I had like three of these. This is 6. They have 6 left. I had 3 12-packs in here. That's how popular they were. So we have 3 12-packs of Gatorade. Now we're down to like 1. I'm not going to restock it because we have 1 week of school left. We've got a whole bunch of fruit snacks. We've got granola bars. I got this like 30-pack of candy bars. Honestly, I was kind of shocked that the Snickers weren't gone. Now, I know there are peanuts in there, but they're just not allowed to eat anything with peanuts while we're in school. They can take it home. But the rest of the candy they could eat because it was just like Twix and 3 Musketeers and stuff. But those are $10. And then this was honestly the most popular. I started out with like a variety pack of Doritos of just chips, and they only ate the Doritos. So I just bought a big case of Doritos. So this is what's left of the Doritos, and those are $8 for a bag of chips. Remember, this is all paper money, and it's teaching them to save up for what they want. Now, over here, these are like some of the most popular items. These are the coupons. So these could range from, you know, anything from a no homework pass to game time on their Chromebook or playing a board game. This one was popular this year, taking their shoes off in the classroom. They had to wear socks though. Free time, drawing on the board. Let me see. We got choosing to listen to music. And then some of the more expensive ones, I separated them out. We had $12, $14, and $16. Were like lunch with a teacher. Where's Lunch Bunch? Lunch Bunch was always super popular. There it is. This one, I feel like I ran out 1,000 times this year because Lunch Bunch is, you know, they get to eat in the classroom and bring a friend. So who doesn't love that? And these are reusable. When they hand them in, I just put them back in here. I don't have to reprint them all the time. You know, when they're out of stock for that day, they're out of stock for that day. But I just keep them in this little photo book I got at the dollar store, and that's where they stay. So honestly, one of the biggest hurdles with like supplying a class store is obviously the money. So donations, Amazon wish lists are always a good idea. And then on top of that, make sure that you're getting items for your class store that your kids are going to actually want. So when I did this, I asked the kids, I took a poll and asked them what they would want to have in our class store. And they wanted candy bars. They wanted bags of chips. They wanted food items. So that's what I went out and got. I'm very fortunate to be able to supply a lot of that myself. But sometimes you know, we don't always have those options. And that's where like the coupons are really helpful, because the coupons don't cost anything. You can print them out in black and white at school, and the kids like those just as much. So just see what your kids want, see what they want to work for and work towards, and they will, you know, work hard to earn the class dollars in order to pay for those items. So when it's time to open the store, all of the kids are working on independent work. And then as I see them working hard, I will call their table over to come to the store. I make it known that they have to have in mind what they are going to purchase. They only have like a minute or two to shop, and they are only allowed to purchase 3 things max each week. Because otherwise, like when some kids have like higher paying jobs, they will have, you know, $50, $60 saved up and they want to blow it all in 1 week. I'm like, no. The other thing that I made a rule is that like when you're a grown up, you can't, well, you can, but you shouldn't spend all of your money and then be left with $0 in your bank account. You need to have an emergency fund just in case. Like if you blow a tire, or if you, I don't know, need to buy new school clothes, or what, I don't know, whatever. But they have to have $5 in their bank account at all times. They cannot spend money in my store that will exceed the $5 they have to keep in their bank. So they'll come up, they'll be like, oh, I want this and this. And I'll say, okay, add it together. How much money do you have left? And they'll be like, oh, I only have $4 left. And I was like, well, you got to put something back. What can't you get? And they'll have to decide which item is more important to them in that moment. So in my class, my students have book bins, and this is where they keep all their books, and this is where they keep their wallet. So I got these off Amazon. They're literally these tiny little just plastic zipper pouches, and I put the kid's number on it so that I can keep them for next year and reuse them, and they just keep their money in here when it's not being used. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. Mrs. Woolley, what about stealing? Do kids steal from each other? Do they take their money? No, and this is why. So we had a nice long chat about responsibility and respect, and that, you know, when you grow up and you have a paycheck for a real job that you worked hard for, you would be really bummed if somebody stole money from you that you had worked hard for. And I basically said, no one is to go near anybody else's wallet. No one is to put a hand on anybody else's wallet, those little zipper pouches, at all. Even if you see it on the floor, I want you to either go tell the person or you come tell me, and I will pick the wallet up for them and put it back in their book bin. That way there's no like accusations of, oh, he touched so-and-so's wallet and they took money, and because that's a mess. Like there's no way to track that. So I talked to them about, you know, keeping your hands off of other people's things, and also keeping their balance sheet up to date, because then if somebody did take money from them, then we would be able to look at your balance and see, okay, how much money do I have in here? Oh, I have the same amount that I was supposed to have. No one stole from me. Luckily, in the 3 months that I've been doing this, not one single person has stolen money from someone else. Like I was really afraid of that at first, and my kids have been so good about that. So I don't know. I know every classroom is different and every classroom has their own issues, but I think if you set the ground rules from day one and we make a consequence for it, then that's less likely to happen. But yeah, nobody has taken any money, and it's been going well for 3 months. Okay, so now that we've talked about the store, we talked about how they earn money, let's talk about the actual jobs that they have in my classroom. Okay. So it can be really exhausting switching out jobs really often. So you can choose to switch jobs as often or as, you know, less often as you would like to. So my kids get to choose new seats each week, and so they pay rent each week, but we don't choose jobs every single week. We switch jobs every 2 weeks, just because it's less on me as a teacher trying to like keep that in check and like moving people's jobs around. And a lot of the time I will, you know, after it's up and running, I will choose, you know, people who are working hard to get the more like responsibility driven jobs. And then if I see people who are kind of like slacking on their jobs, maybe they don't get as high paying of a job the next week. So the first time we even talked about jobs, I went through the list of jobs that I made in my classroom, and this is the list. I'm going to read it off to you. Okay. So we have a teacher's assistant. They just do like general tasks for me. If I have to send them somewhere in the school, they go. I have a mail person. They put mail in people's mailboxes. I have breakfast count. So each morning they have to take the clipboard out. They have to make sure everybody who got a breakfast puts their check mark next to their name, and then they have to go and put it in the office folder out in the hallway. I have a flexible seating monitor. So because I have so many different like flexible seating pieces, I have a person whose job it is to clean up the flexible seating station at the end of the day, make sure it's all neat and organized, nothing's thrown on the floor, it's all taken care of. Book bins, so my kids keep their independent books in a little Tupperware bin. It's their job to put them in order and make sure that they are being taken care of. I have a librarian. They put back any books that are being returned. They make sure all the books are straight, upright, the spine is facing out. Number corner helpers. I have 2 number corner helpers, and we have number corner through Bridges math. And so it's their job to help me when there are any tasks. I have a table cleaner. The table cleaners get Clorox wipes at the end of the day, and they wipe down all of the tables in the room. We have a custodian. It's their job to go around and pick up anything that's fallen on the floor, any items that are out of place, they get to put those back. Electrician. This has been like a popular job. The electrician gets to turn on all of my little LED lights, my lights up in the top of the room. I don't have them on right now, but lamps or signs that I have that light up, they put them on every morning and turn them off every night. Organizer. So the organizer will go and check all of the little table caddies on every table and make sure that they have the right amount of supplies in there. The paper passer, they're just going to pass out papers when I need them to. I use that as like a double person job because there's only so many jobs in a classroom. And if you have a lot of students, you got to make it work. So you can double up on any jobs you want. We have a hall monitor. So I started off with 1 hall monitor and it worked that way for a little while, but I ended up making it a 2-person job just because the line can get pretty long in the hall. So their job is to watch the front and the back of the line, make sure everyone's following hallway expectations, walking, being safe, staying silent, getting to and from where they need to. And they have a special job because if somebody is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, they give them a warning. And if they don't follow the warning and they're not listening, they get a fine. And that means that they have to pay me money because their behavior was not what it should have been in the hall after being given a verbal warning. And the last job is the pencil sharpener. Just gotta make sure we have some pencils in the pencil cup. So each of those jobs have a different pay scale. So I will take a picture of my pay scale and I'll put it right over here. Okay, so each job has a different amount based on the amount of responsibility that it takes. Like the teacher's helper gets paid $15 because they have a lot of work to do. I make them do a lot throughout the week. Number corner, they have a lot of math that they need to do. So that's a high paying job at $18. Hall monitor, it's not fun and it's not easy to be the person that keeps everyone being respectful and responsible. So if they're gonna do that and they're doing their job well, then they should be paid well for that. So they earn $20 to be the hall monitor. Custodian gets $13 because not everybody wants to pick up after everybody else. So we switch jobs every 2 weeks. I vary the amounts of money that each kid is getting. So if you have a higher paying job 1 week, then you're not necessarily going to have a higher paying job the second week, but it just depends on how, we end up shuffling around the names. The cool way that I started jobs, the first time we ever got jobs, I actually had my students write an essay about their top 3 choices for jobs and why they would be a good candidate for those jobs. So kind of like applying for them. They had to apply for the jobs and then I reviewed what their top 3 choices would be, and that's what I used to determine who I was going to put at what job for the first time we ever selected jobs. So I thought it went pretty well, and it was kind of like a fun experience to see them like apply for the jobs. I think it would even be cool to like run little mock interviews. I don't know. I think that'd be fun. What do you think? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Okay. So last but not least are fines. Now, I don't give out fines very often, but they do need to occur. So obviously when we don't pay our credit card bill, credit card company gives us a late fee. Or if we, want to use our electricity in our house, we have to pay for it, right? So I started making fines for things that I saw were issues in my classroom. And these are also something that's very flexible. So obviously we talked about the hallway behavior. If that one, is a fine that you could instill in your hall monitor job or whatever, then that's one of them you can do. And that one I started out at $2. But then I realized that $2 really wasn't much to some of the kids that were earning more money. Even some of the kids that were earning less money, they really didn't care when they were getting fined $2. So when they were like frequent flyers and they wanted to continue like making those same choices in the hallway, I upped the ante a little bit and bumped it to like $3. And then I bumped it to, now at the end of the year, $5. And the higher the fine is, the less they want to misbehave because they don't want to lose out on $5. So the fines are flexible. I always start them low, and then if it's not, doing what it's supposed to be doing, you could always bump them up. In my classroom, the only other 2 fines that I have are, we have a bathroom break fine. Now, before you come for me, they get to use 3 free bathroom breaks anytime they want throughout the day. 3 for free. That's not even counting the times they can go to the restroom at lunch, recess, during specials. Like, I don't count those ones. So I have a bathroom sign out sheet. When they go to the restroom, they put an R next to their name. And then throughout the day, if they've gone over their 3 bathroom breaks that are allotted, they have to pay me a $2 fine to go use the restroom again. I have never had to instill that fine, not even once. Every single kid was like, yeah, 3 is fair. I think 3 is plenty for like the amount of time that we're in your classroom. So you determine what is fair and how you want to run your bathroom breaks. But that, I feel like, has been the most useful way that I've ever done bathroom breaks in, my 4 years of teaching 5th grade. And then the only other fine that I have is because we use Chromebooks a lot and the kids get real irresponsible with charging them. So they'll take them home and then just forget about them and not charge them, and then they'll die the next day and we can't use them. So I started charging them money to use my electricity in the classroom. So if they didn't charge their Chromebook the night before and they're in the middle of the day and go, Mrs. Woolley, I got to charge my Chromebook, it's dead, they owe me $2 to use my electricity. Even though it's the schools, I know that. But it's funny because they're like, well, what do you mean you have to use the electricity? I'm like, well, it's like paying for gas in your car. If you run out of gas, you can't go anywhere. If you run out of juice on your Chromebook, we can't do any of our schoolwork. So they pay me $2. They charge their Chromebook. It's all good. I really don't like to use like the fines or the money incentives for behavior other than the hallway, because we have a separate plan at my school for behavior. We use bear badges and bear paws, and a bear badge is like an individual reward. Bear paw is a whole class reward that earns a party. So I don't want to like override that system. So this one is strictly just for classroom jobs. And lights went out. Hold on. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so this one is strictly just for classroom jobs and as like an academic incentive. They also get incentives for good behavior otherwise. I think that covers it all. I don't know. If you guys have any more questions about my classroom economy or how I run it in 5th grade, put them in the comments and I will try my best to answer them as best I can. I did have a few people that were asking if I was going to throw this on Teachers Pay Teachers. I'm working on it. Once summer comes, it'll be way easier for me to do that. But I'm going to try and get this up on Teachers Pay Teachers for those of you who want to use my money system or my documents. They're nothing fancy, but it's just, it works for me, okay? So if you want them, I'm going to throw them up there and then you guys can have them if you would like to. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know any other teacher content or life content that you guys want to see, because I am going to have a blast making videos for you over the summer. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your school year. Those of you that are still in school, if you're not, enjoy your summer. Be safe and happy. And I will see you guys in the next video. This video is puppy approved. Bye, guys.